to order and to welcome our newest member, Carl Sprague. Carl, congratulations. Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Look forward to working with you in the years to come. The first item of business, given that we've had an election, is to elect officers. Forgive me if my screen wobbles because I'm operating from a different setup and I'm not sure how firm this screen is where I'm talking from. Anyway, I'd like to ask for nominations for the position of chairman of the planning board. Marie.
I'd like to nominate Bill, if you'll do it again.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for the position of chairman?
Oh, here he is.
Gary, I see you've joined us. Welcome. You're muted, in case you're nominating anybody. Kate, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I think it would be good to have some discussion about this and talk a little bit about, roles and expectations.
I think we're just doing elections. We're not going to talk about it.
Okay, well.
We can talk about it later, but I don't want to get into a conversation about roles, responsibilities, who's doing what to whom. We know what the chairman does. We know what the vice chair does. We know what the clerk does. And I don't want to talk about it. I just want to get the elections over with.
Okay, well, I think I'd like to nominate myself as chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. So are there any other nominations? Hearing none, let's proceed to vote. All in favor of the first nominee, that's me, can you please raise your hands so I can see?
And I'll say aye.
And Wayne, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's me, Marie, Nancy, and Wayne.
Yep.
Wayne. And all in favor of the second nominee, Kate, raise your hands, please, and say aye.
Aye.
That's 3.
Okay.
Carl,
I have a question, Carl. Did you get sworn in today?
I did not.
Okay,
you can't
so
vote.
Terry said you cannot vote.
Okay, I have to talk to Terry for a number of reasons. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
I'm
fine.
glad you asked, Jennifer.
Anyway, Bill carries the day in any case, so.
So it's 4-2 in my favor as chairman. Let's proceed to the position of vice chair, recently vacated by Christine. I'd like to listen to any nominations.
I
I'd like to
nominate Marie Rafferty for vice chair.
And I second that. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Hearing none, let's proceed to vote. All in favor of Marie Raftery as vice chair, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 That's Bill, Nancy, Gary, Kate, and
Wayne.
Wayne
Yes,
said aye.
and Wayne's.
Wayne.
For the vote.
And Carl, you can't vote.
Not voting.
Okay. So
Can Marie vote for herself?
She can if she chooses to. I voted for myself. Did you vote for yourself?
Sure.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
So I think that's 6 votes in favor, and there were no other nominees. The last elected position is clerk of the planning board, currently the position held by Wayne. Is there a nomination? I'll entertain nominations for the position of clerk.
I'd like to nominate Wayne if he's willing to do it again.
He's been nominated. Is there a second?
Second.
Nancy has seconded. Are there any other nominations for clerk? Hearing none, let's proceed to a pro forma vote. All in favor of Wayne elected as clerk, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
That looks like it's unanimous. And Carl, you can't vote. Nice try.
It's reflexive. I'm sorry.
Nice try.
Okay.
I think that was unanimous. Now, I think there are two appointees we have to make as well. One to the Berkshire Regional, our representative to the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, which is a position that Nancy has filled for the last year. I guess we elect that as well. If you're willing to serve, Nancy, can I hear a nomination? Can I hear a nomination for the position of delegate to the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission?
I nominate Nancy.
Okay,
Thank you, Gary.
Second.
and there's a second from Marie. Are there any other nominations for delegate or representative to the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission? Hearing none, let's proceed to vote. All in favor of Nancy as the delegate to the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, raise your hand and say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
That looks unanimous.
Okay, yep.
Carl still trying to vote, still ineligible.
I go to a lot of board meetings, and when people say vote,
I know it's reflexive. Yeah.
Go through my brain.
So I think that was unanimous, or at least six,
Yeah.
six,
Yes.
6-0. And the final position is the representative to the Historic Preservation Committee, which is a position that Gary has filled in the last year. Can we have a nomination?
No, it's for the community
Sorry,
preservation.
community
Committee.
preservation.
Community.
And
Right.
I nominate Gary.
I second it. Are there any other nominees for that position of representative to the Community Preservation Committee? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of Gary as representative to the CPC, please raise your hand, say aye.
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 Put your hand down, Carl.
I know.
Tried. Tried.
Making
It
notes.
looks,
Okay,
it looks unanimous.
okay.
So
Yes,
congratulations to all who have been elected or appointed. Thank you for your support. Are there any other elections we need to do? I don't think so.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't think
think
so. So let's proceed with the next item on the agenda, which is the minutes of the May 4th meeting, which you all have. Are there, can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Nancy seconding. Are there any comments or questions, corrections to these minutes?
I have a comment. I'd like to see the minutes reflect a little bit more of the discussion that was had around concerns were expressed about the presentation and the agenda with regards to the agenda. And then there was quite a bit of discussion about the 40K appropriation. And I'd like to see just, a little bit of that represented in the minutes.
Okay, do you have language to suggest?
I started to draft some language and there was just so much discussion that I think the best thing is if Jennifer just revisits the tape, it's pretty easy to do. It's not that long a section and just incorporate some of that discussion.
Some of the funding, is that what you're asking for?
There was a lot of discussion at the beginning over, first of all, I had a comment on the presentation, which was not actually on the agenda. And then there was discussion on the 40K appropriation.
Okay, the presentation for what?
On
I'm
the
just not
agenda
sure.
Was discussion of the 40K, but we started out with a presentation. And there was some discussion about that, but there was also quite a bit of back and forth on the appropriation itself. And I think it would just
Okay,
capture.
Okay.
There wasn't total agreement on it, basically.
Okay, can you
okay,
do
so
that?
the presentation was to the selectmen, is that right? Is that what you're talking about?
It was a joint meeting of the select board and
Me,
planning board. Yeah. Do you want me
right,
to call you?
okay, so that,
You want me to call you,
Okay.
Jennifer?
I think I can do it. I'll look at it and I'll send it to you guys and, you know, you can change it if you want
Okay.
or add to it.
Call me if you have a question.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other comments about the minutes?
I don't think we can vote on them then. I think we
Yeah.
gotta move it to next meeting.
Yeah, since we don't have agreement on the contents. Let's defer to the next meeting.
You need a motion or you just,
Yeah, I think we
you
can
want a
just,
motion on that or do you just?
Yeah, we can have a motion. If you'd like to make a motion, Marie,
I mean, if we're supposed to, I'd be glad to make a motion that we defer the,
it never hurts to have the motion, so.
yeah, I make a motion, we defer approving the minutes until they're check, what do you want to say, Kate?
Just,
So-
you want me to make,
So,
I make a motion that we defer approving these minutes until the next meeting.
that's it, okay.
Is there a second?
I can,
Gary is seconding. Any further discussion? Jennifer, can you call the roll, please?
Oh, bless you.
Okay. Gary,
aye,
Bill,
Aye.
Wayne,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Marie,
Aye.
Kate.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you. Next item is the special permit for the Mackinac Terrace Association, the steps. Wayne, would you like to say the usual, please?
Sure. Notice is hereby given that the Stockbridge Planning Board, acting as a special permit granting authority, is scheduling a public hearing via remote meeting for 6:30 PM on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021, to consider the application of Mackinac Terrace Association at Mackinac Terrace, map 205, lot 32, to replace stairs and railing for access to common dock under section 6.5.4B and 6.5.9 of the Stockbridge zoning bylaws. The complete application and plans are on file in the planning board office and the town offices.
Thank you. Is somebody representing this applicant?
Yep. Hi, this is Matt Darris. I'm from the MTA.
Hi, Matt. Please proceed.
So
I'm
we
sorry,
are.
Excuse me, Matt, where are you from?
I'm representing the Mackinac Terrace Association. I'm
Okay.
one of the owners there.
Okay, thank you.
So we're seeking to replace the stairs from the top of the hill down to where we have existing retaining wall and some stairs, and it's really to replace a 30-year-old set of stairs that have kind of failed over time and provide a more safe and reliable way to get down a hill to the docks for the entire community. We're looking to do that in a way that will be non-disruptive to Lake Mackinac, and we're going to be putting in some ways to retain, the bales and the retaining tarps and whatnot, add better drainage to the site, but really just keep the aesthetic the way that it is, but with just more safe, more reliable, longer and sturdier stairs.
I think we've seen drawings or a photograph. Does anybody on the planning board have a question or comment about this application?
I have a question, Matt. I spoke with Dr. Corman, and he mentioned that and I know, I gather Concom has asked for some plantings to help with stormwater runoff. Can you explain a little bit about what you will be doing to help with stormwater runoff and what types of surfaces, permeable or not permeable, that are incorporated into this project?
Absolutely. So at the moment, each step is about 6 inches tall and about 30 inches deep. And I forget the exact number of them, but given that the depth of the step is so deep, it's very difficult for anybody to traverse the stairs. So what we'd be looking to do is bring in pre-poured concrete stairs that are built by a third party like Technoblock or something similar to that are anti-slip, that are fit for purpose for buildings. They're actually engineered for building stairs. Our intention is to put 3 of those, because a typical stair is about a foot deep versus 30 inches deep. What it means is that we would build 3 stairs and then have a level area of about 3 feet, and then kind of rinse and repeat thereafter until we get to the top of the hill. Our intention is that the stairs would be non-permeable. However, that flat bit every 3 stairs would be permeable. We would put in a paver that is meant to allow for drainage within the stair system. So as rain were to come down, it would be able to be absorbed on the stairs. Additionally, if you were standing at the top of the stairs and looking down at the lake, on the right-hand side, we would add some crushed stone so that, again, more runoff could be absorbed into the ground versus running off into the lake. And what the Conservation Commission encouraged us to do is actually to put some plantings in and around on the hills of natural plants, not so much to help with the runoff, but more to encourage people to use the stairs as opposed to walking down the hill itself.
So,
Okay.
so like native plantings in that sort of parkway area, that grassy area?
Yeah, towards the top of the hill, there's a very large tree at the top of the hill, kind of to the right of that.
Right. And what about any plantings down in the riparian zone, that buffer area along the
Yeah.
shore?
Yeah, we're happy to do that. We've actually got a good allocation from our contractor for a good number of plants. And so what we'll do is we'll look to kind of make it look nice and bring in just a lot of good native plantings. At the moment, what we do is we just simply mow it. We don't add fertilizer. We don't add any insecticides or anything else. And so it'll be a good way to retain the ground is already reasonably well retained by the grass, but we'll add those plantings really, again, to keep people encouraged to use the stairs versus walking down the hill.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And the railing is going to be changed, you said, because it's so hot to hold?
It is hot to hold. What we were encouraged to do was actually, instead of disturbing the ground, keep the upright posts where they are with the concrete and simply either wrap or put some kind of new handrail from top to bottom that's a bit easier for people to hold on to versus burning their hands on that metal.
Any other questions of Matt? Are there any questions from the public about this application? I don't see any.
Move to
Gary.
accept the application as presented.
Is there a second?
I think we need to close the public hearing first.
Oh, you're right, Kate.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second,
Thank you. Jennifer, you have to call the roll, please.
Right. Gary,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Wayne,
Aye.
Nancy,
Hi.
Marie,
Aye.
Kate.
aye.
I think that's everybody.
I think that's everybody who can vote, yes. Carl, I don't mean to rub it in. You should go to town hall and get sworn in.
I heard about it once. I'm sorry. I was in bed having, whatever.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a rough time.
Been a little disoriented the last few days.
Yeah, the public meeting is closed. Can I have a motion to approve this
Move
application?
to approve the stairs as presented.
Thank you. Do we need to record what is it, the section where we've determined that there's no adverse effect on this application, on this, where is it?
I'd like to include in the conditions that there will be, as Matt there is described, that there will be the plantings along the shoreline as well as in the other area that he mentioned.
Right,
Up on the hill.
Yeah,
Do we need to have a picture of the stairs on record on the video?
19.
The
I'm
video
at-
one was included in the filing. If not, we can certainly supply one.
do you
No,
have
just
one,
sometimes we see it when we're on the Zoom meeting, that's all.
do you have one to share, Matt, in this Zoom meeting?
I believe I do. Give me just 1 second, please.
Good point, Nancy.
Yep, I certainly do. 1 second.
Bless you.
Bless you, John.
Thanks. Thanks.
There we go.
All right, so the stairs in question actually begin here. This is the first step, and they go all the way to the top of the hill here.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay,
Thank you.
I don't, is that the plan? That's not the plan though. So do you have, isn't the next page show the actual plan, Matt?
I don't know if I have that or not. Let me just check, please.
I think I have it.
Okay.
If you don't, hold
I
on.
think,
there you go.
I mean, you can't really,
Where is the water?
The water is actually so the arrow is pointing at a solid dark line.
Yes,
And then there's a kind of hashed line to the left of it.
that's the steps.
That's the steps that are attached to the retaining wall. And then to the left of that, you'll see some rectangles. That's the dock.
Oh, okay,
Yep. And so from that point where the dock is left would all be the lake.
okay,
Okay.
I get it. Okay. So I think we have a motion and a second to approve this. Do I need to read the required findings just for the record, or can we waive that requirement under 6.3.6? Does anybody have an objection to waiving that requirement, acknowledging and waiving the requirement?
I think that's fine as long as you're acknowledging it.
Yeah, under 6.3.6 of the zoning bylaws. Okay, so let's proceed to a vote. Jennifer, would you please call the roll? The motion is to approve this special permit.
okay, Bill,
Yes,
Gary,
Yes.
Wayne,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Marie,
Oh, she had a
Kate?
phone call.
I-
okay, Kate,
is that everybody?
yes.
Okay, it's approved. Thank you, Matt. Good luck with the project.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So, moving right along, the next agenda item is the sign for 2 Depot Street. We've had pictures of that and the application. Is there someone here who's going to talk to that? Justin?
Hello.
What's your role?
Yes. Thank you for having me this evening.
And
I
Justin,
am the
who are-
owner of Handcrafted, and
Oh,
I am the
okay.
owner of Handcrafted, and I have leased the train station for 3 years from the Berkshire Scenic Railway Museum. And we are a catering and event company. And so we're seeking to place a sign that directly matches the existing sign hanging below it on the same exact post, same design, same dimensions, that will say handcrafted on the Berkshire line. I believe I attached it with the permit.
Yes.
There's a picture with a hand-drawn sign underneath it.
Right.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have a question about this sign application? Sign permit?
I'm just going to pull it up so, so people can see it.
Thank you.
Do you have a height that it is off the ground? Is that important to us? I mean, I know on some of our signs, there's a height.
It's
It
hanging,
has to be above the ground.
it's a hanging sign below the existing sign.
It's a hanging sign below the existing sign, right?
Right.
Is that
I
permissible?
think you can see it right there on the
I
screen.
can see it, yes.
I guess the question is, does it have to be a certain,
that low?
yeah, can it go that low, or is there,
Does it matter? It's not over a sidewalk, but,
There's nothing in the bylaw that's.
okay,
Yeah.
So-
okay. I mean, I know some signs have to be a certain height. I didn't know if this included.
And it's less than 4 square feet, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
3.69. yeah.
3.65.
and will it be the same,
Font?
what's the same font as the Stockbridge station sign?
Yes, everything is the same exact replication. It's being fabricated by Larkin Ltd, which is a company out of Great Barrington. And they've matched that exactly, including the stripes that are horizontal, vertical on the left-hand side of the sign. So it's an exact replication.
Okay. Any other questions?
And they're okay with you hanging your sign off of their sign?
Yes, they are.
So this request meets our bylaw, and given that, I make a motion to approve this sign request.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. I guess, you're leasing this property. What happens at the end of your lease? Take the sign down?
So the idea, like with any business, is that hopefully we're there for quite a long time. I'm working closely with the Scenic Railway Museum in managing and promoting the property itself. So, hopefully that we're there longer than 3 years, but obviously you just kind of set a general guideline to see how the business goes, which is a 3-year lease. If we were to go out of business or part ways, then yes, we would remove the sign.
Yeah, okay.
So are
So-
you're cooking there?
So there's a motion on the table.
Yeah.
It
and
doesn't
it's-
matter what they're doing.
It doesn't matter. Oh, okay. I was just wondering what
just a sign.
what it is. That's all.
I'd be happy to answer just out of curiosity. So we're a catering company that does off-premise events. So typically, we're at your private home, farms, warehouses, things of that nature, and we're looking forward to turn this beautiful historic property into a location for galas, community events, weddings, things of that nature. And so we work closely with vendors like Mahawe Tents, and we would be setting up per each event. And yes, we'd be catering food there and stuff like that.
Okay, I was just curious. I'm sorry.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to approve this sign application. If there's no further comment from any members of the board, are there any public comments? Anybody from the public who wants to weigh in on this? I don't see any. So let's,
Bill, this is just a permit. It's not a special permit, so.
right,
It's different in that regard. It's just.
yeah,
Dried.
but we still have to vote on it, right?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a motion on the table.
Yeah, exactly. I was just giving people
Yeah,
the opportunity if they had some problem with the sign, which I didn't expect. Okay. Jennifer, will you call the roll on this motion? Please, you're frozen. Your video
sure.
is frozen.
Bill,
Yes,
I am.
but your voice is
Nancy,
loud and clear.
Hi.
Marie,
Aye.
Kate,
Aye.
Wayne,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
That's everybody.
Okay, thank you. Justin, good luck with your new business.
Thank you so much, folks. Have a nice evening.
You too. Bye.
Good luck, Jay.
Thank you. Okay, we've got another sign application. We've seen this before for 5 East Street. And do I see, sorry?
I don't know if the attorney, Riley Mahoney is doing it or someone else, but somebody should be there.
Is somebody here to talk to this sign application, this sign permit?
I am. I don't know if you can hear me. David Van Sletten, Kislin Net Builders.
Okay,
Okay,
go right ahead.
We submitted a resubmittal of a construction company sign, now at the smaller actually than the 4 square feet requested. We reduced down the size of the sign. It's now going to be in a metal frame that's basically just stuck into the ground near the entrance to where the home's going to be built. So hoping that this now meets your quality requirements and we can get approval in order to proceed.
It does.
3 square feet.
3 square feet, yeah.
Yeah, David, can you share, I mean, we've seen it physically, but can you share the screen and show us the sign?
I'm sorry, I'm on a cell phone right now and I don't have access to the photo. It was submitted with the original documents. It didn't come
Yes, I
through.
know.
yeah,
No,
I
we
think
got it.
everybody got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay,
To Nancy's point, for purposes of the recording.
So
It's like-
can you see the screen? It basically, the important information should be visible.
Yep,
Okay,
thank
so
you.
I
It's,
think you've got it right
the-
there. 3
yeah,
square feet.
the
Um,
measurement.
It meets the requirements of our bylaw and I make a motion that we approve it.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. Jennifer, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Bill,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Kate,
Aye.
Nancy,
Hi.
Marie,
Aye.
Wayne.
Aye.
Okay, that's everybody.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, David.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Next item is Nick Ariante's letter for the name change for Stone Ridge, which has to be entered into the record. I don't think we.
I don't see
Jennifer, go ahead.
Nick. I don't see Nick there. And I
don't-
haven't, and I haven't gotten a letter from him, so
Are we gonna have to defer this?
I
again?
think so.
So Jennifer,
Yeah,
in the email, when you first sent this around, you mentioned that you would be touching base with town council. Has that happened?
yes, about the changing the name?
Yeah.
Yes,
Can you send
Yep.
information
And-
around town council's input? Can you send that information
Yeah.
around to the board before the next
Sure.
meeting?
sure.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
Didn't we see that? I seem to recall.
I sent it to you, Bill, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Maybe I should have shared it, but I think her comment,
No,
it's a good point, Kate, and it should be distributed. But her comment was, this is in effect, a no-brainer, and we don't really have to do anything other than to acknowledge. There's nothing from a kind of regulatory standpoint other than acknowledging that this is what he wants to do.
That's great. I just, in order to, when I
Yeah.
saw the agenda item, I sort of felt like I didn't have the information.
Yeah, okay.
The more that can
So-
be shared, the better.
Yep, I hear you. So this, will come back to this at a future meeting. Okay, the next is the public hearing on the table of use regulations, section 4.11, section B, accessory uses, number 24, short-term rentals. As Jennifer wrote, this is a select board bylaw, but we're looking at just the accessory uses in the accessory use table in the zoning bylaws. Is there anybody from the select board here? I don't see anybody.
no,
Oh, they're interviewing
No.
candidates.
Yeah.
for-
yeah,
They're not available.
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Jennifer, did you want to say
So-
something?
Well, they just added number 24 to the table of use regulations.
Right.
And so I think they just want us to either, approve it or not.
Yep.
John, are they gonna have a public hearing on it?
The selectmen will,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
but we won't. I mean,
Okay.
this is our public hearing. What am I saying? This is a public hearing.
Oh, well, then doesn't Wayne have to read?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
Wayne should be reading the,
Yep. Sorry, I skipped over that. Wayne, do
Okay.
your usual, please.
Okay, notice of planning board hearing relative to proposed zoning bylaw amendments pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40A, Sections 5 and 11. A public hearing will be held by the Town of Stockbridge Planning Board via remote meeting. See agenda to join stockbridgemass.gov on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 at 6:30 PM to review proposed changes to the zoning bylaws at which interested persons shall be given an opportunity to be heard. Specifically, amendments are proposed for Table of Use Regulations 4.11, Section B, accessory uses 24, short-term rentals. The proposed text is available for inspection at the planning board, requested by phone, request or email, planning board, stockbridge.gov.
Okay, so this is a new 24, section 24, or accessory uses number 24. Do we actually have, Jennifer, how that would look? What it would actually say?
all it says is number 24, short-term rentals, and then in parentheses, 31 consecutive days or less. And there's a star there and it says refer to general bylaws, whatever it ends up being. And then in the districts, they have yes right across the board for all zoning districts.
So that's what we're, what the special permit is for, is to say yes across the board, to create a new 24, number 24, which would say yes across the board with respect to
Right.
short-term. Okay,
Yes.
are we clear on that?
So what is our vote gonna be?
I don't
Just to-
understand.
Just
think-
that one little piece?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
that we agree to a new item 24, short-term rentals, and that there be yeses across the 6 categories.
Because this part is the zoning bylaws of Stockbridge. And they felt that they wanted to add this to the zoning part, even though the short-term rental bylaw itself is going to be in the general bylaws.
Gotcha. So my other question is, are they going to have a special permit hearing so that people would know the whole piece of this? The body of it?
I would think yes. I mean,
Because otherwise we're not doing it justice. That's the only thing I'm saying. It's just, nobody's going to know what we're doing other than putting that into our little piece.
Wouldn't
Right.
we vote on this after they put in the new bylaw? And then to say, yes, 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 yes.
It goes together.
But
Yeah.
thank
they
you,
haven't,
Kate,
they haven't
yes.
written the bylaw yet.
Okay,
I
so
think they-
just so I'm clear though, we're not going to, we're not saying yes to the bylaw. We're saying yes to the addition to our table of uses.
That's all.
That's correct.
All right.
That's right.
Right?
The bylaw is next.
Okay, then I make a motion that we accept their addition to our table of uses, number 24.
Second,
Is there any further discussion? Is there any, does anybody from the public have a comment?
Oh, we got to close the public hearing.
Right, okay, so is there a motion to close the public hearing?
so moved.
Second,
And Jennifer, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Bill,
Yes,
Gary,
yes.
Wayne,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Kate,
Aye.
Marie.
Aye.
Okay, that's everybody.
now can I have a motion to approve this change or addition to the table of use regulations 4.11 section B accessory uses number 24?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Jennifer, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Bill,
Yes,
Kate,
aye.
Marie,
Aye.
Gary,
Yes.
Nancy,
Aye.
Wayne.
Aye.
Okay,
thank you. Next item is the continuation of the public hearing on the sign bylaw amendments in section 6.8. Did we all see Phil's email that I think came around today as a reminder? He made that correction, and otherwise there are no changes.
Yes.
So I saw his email, and it looked to me like he did not make a correction. And it looks to me like there's still a problem, and I haven't gotten answers to the questions that I asked him at the last meeting.
And what were those
Well, he-
questions?
Hold on a second while
I think he added that part,
I thought he did too.
part one. I had it on mine. I mean, I got an email with the section added in there that was taken out of 6.8.7. It was A and then 1 and
So
1.
no, there's no change. What he said in his email that he sent today, the only change to the sign, I'm quoting, the only change to the sign bylaw was reinserting section 6.8.7
Yes.
point A1I, since it was removed. Although this is labeled 8th draft, it now should be the same as draft 6. But again, so you don't have to search for it, I've attached another copy. So really, I can pull up what he sent us, if you give me 1 second.
Yeah.
The problem has not been, the question that I asked about has not been addressed, basically.
And what was the question?
Let me pull up the draft so it's sort of easy to see. Hold on. So this is what he sent us today, but this is a very different. This is not, this is basically, he's put back in wording, but he's also not showing what he's removed. And so the result is that still, what I'd asked him to address was this idea that you would end up with up to actually 12 square feet of signage potentially in residential areas because of Donna Brewer's last minute First Amendment concerns. So I felt that needed to be addressed because to me, that just doesn't seem appropriate in Stockbridge. So he has not addressed that, and I think that's important. I also think we should be looking at the issue that came up at the last planning board meeting with the Camp Mackinac, where there's this directional loophole where, you know, potentially somebody could have a monster sign for directional purposes, and what the information we did not get, I guess, I gather you had the information, Bill, but I didn't get it at least, was that the building inspector, Ned, actually did not feel that directional sign should have been approved because it had Camp Mackinac on it as well as a logo. So.
I didn't see that from Ned or anybody else.
Oh, you didn't get that information?
No.
Well, that came to me, you know, that information came to me afterwards. So apparently that should not have been approved because of the name on the sign as well as the logo. So, and directional signs should really be small and unobtrusive. I would say no more than 2 square feet.
I don't know. I'm not sure I agree with that. If you want people to change direction, it needs to be big enough so that they see it.
I agree.
I think making a small directional sign is kind of defeating the purpose.
Out
You need
there, I mean, that's pretty
need to
rural
be-
out there.
Yeah, you need it to be big enough that it's visible to drivers.
I think there often is a thinking that bigger is better with signs, but I'm not sure. I think
Well,
something
unfortunately,
small.
We approved it, right?
it's
Yes.
done. Yeah,
That
it's
sign
done.
was approved. That sign was approved, but I think that, you know, that's a loophole that we should be addressing. I mean, if you think that they should be bigger, well, you know, let's talk about it. But I think we can all agree that we don't want a sign that's like 16 square feet with an arrow on it. I mean, this isn't Coney Island, right?
Don't see that happening, do you? I mean, that's going to the extreme. I think we can be reasonable and let people do what's necessary to actually get what they want to get done, which is to direct people to the proper area.
My observation over the years that I've been on the planning board is that you'd be surprised, and I think it's better to plan on, you know, to be on the safe side rather than to just leave it open-ended.
And I think if that comes up, I just see us saying, no, we're sorry, we want you to keep it to 4, and we can do that.
And we can't do that if it's not written into the bylaw.
You're talking about a directional sign.
Yep.
I don't think we have unlimited size to a sign like that. I think we're still gonna be bound to what we have, and, you know, if they want to fight that, fine, but, well, I just can't see that happening, and I would like the sign to be effective. In the end of it all, I would like a sign to be effective.
Well, so
I'd also like to dispose of these amendments to the bylaw so that we can move on to other things. I mean, we've been discussing this extensively, and I'd like to bring it to a conclusion, frankly.
Well, I
Um,
think it's in, Phil is not here. I'm not quite sure why he's not here and why we're discussing this, but I think the important thing is to get it right. And that's generally been the approach here in Stockbridge.
I don't disagree. I think the idea is to get it right, and we may have disagreements about what's right and what's not. I'd like to take action on it.
Well, you've got a loophole and I think it should be addressed.
How do others feel?
Okay.
I agree with Wayne.
Yeah, I agree that they should be able to, yeah, it seems like we have enough regulation on signs so that we can make them the size we want when they come for our permit.
No, we cannot. They can make the sign what the bylaw allows.
But don't all their signs have to be within the same, like they're allowed so much square feet for all their signs altogether?
So what I'm saying, Nancy, is that for a directional sign, there is no size limit.
So their directional sign is not included with their other signs?
The directional sign on its own does not have a size limit. And as you recall, at the last meeting with Camp Mackinac, we didn't have the information that there was a logo. Because of the logo and the camp name, it did not count as a directional sign, but we thought it was a directional sign. I thought it was a directional sign. So technically, they could make that any size they wanted to.
But didn't it stay to the size?
No, there's no size limit. We asked him to agree to a size, but we don't have the jurisdiction technically to enforce that. So we can ask people to be reasonable, but, I think here's where there's a real difference on the board, and I suggest you just do a straw poll and see how people feel. If people want to address the loophole, fine. If the majority does not want to address the loophole, there you have your answer. Okay?
Yep. Do we want to do a straw poll or a real poll?
Just a straw poll. That's all you need.
Okay, let's see it. Have a show of hands in favor of approving these amendments to.
I'm not talking about approving the amendments. I'm talking about addressing a straw poll to see if people want to address the loophole that allows a directional sign to be any size.
I think we have it covered.
Yeah, and I think what you're asking is,
Show of hands. Why don't we just have a show of hands? Then we know and we can move on.
okay,
I think we're covered. I don't think we need to do the loophole right this minute.
yeah. So all in favor of not doing the loophole, addressing the loophole today, please raise your hand. Nancy, or do I see? Okay. That's 1, 2, 3. Wayne,
Aye.
you're raising your hand. So that's 4 people. All in favor of addressing the loophole, if not today, at a near-term point, raise your hand. That's 2. So the straw poll is 4-2 against.
I mean,
Address-
Carl, it's a straw poll, so I think Carl can just say yes or no.
Sure.
Terry will-
I don't know.
Terry, I mean, it
Terry.
seems like a simple thing as putting a phrase in saying including directional signs, but I'm in favor of having some control.
Of which?
I said
What
I'm in
did you?
favor of having some control, but I mean,
Okay. I think the majority wants to proceed without addressing the loophole. So that being the case, can we proceed to a vote to approve this amended version of the sign bylaw?
I think there's still another problem, but based on the straw poll that we just had, I'd like to mention what I think the problem is, but I'm pretty sure that the majority of the board is not going to want to address it.
Go ahead.
So the problem as I see it is that potentially in a residential zone, you could end up with 12 square feet of signage if somebody really wants to push it. Because of that last minute change by Donna Brewer over the First Amendment issue. And I think that's, I think that's just ridiculous. So, but I don't think it's worth having the discussion. I can sort of see this is sort of an ideological approach differences here. And I did want to mention it, Bill.
Yeah, I hear you, Kate, but I don't think I want to be in favor of ignoring legal counsel's advice.
Well, it was her advice, but she had other comments that were not addressed. I mean, she also commented that she thought 6 feet out was excessive for a small town, and that wasn't addressed either. So the point here is that her comments were pretty late in the game. They should have happened from at the get-go. And
Did we all get her comments?
I just want
Did we all
to
get her comments? This doesn't sound familiar to me.
And
I'll
because
get
the comment was so late in the game, it wasn't addressed. And I think, that's where taking time and care with this bylaw would be better for the town. And
Well, we asked her for her advice when it came down to it, and she gave it. And now you're not wanting to accept that?
no, that's not my point, Wayne. My point is that had we asked her earlier on in the game, there would have been a time to address the last minute comments that she made on the bylaw, because her comments actually indicate significant problems, but they've opened up the door for other issues that should have been addressed. So, but I think, it sounds like you all are ready to move, and I don't want to hold things up. I can't vote for this bylaw as it is, but why don't we keep moving?
Jennifer, did you have a point?
Yeah, I just, excuse me. I talked to Mike Canales, and this part of this sign bylaw will not go to town meeting right now. So I just wanted to say that. It's not
Right.
going to hit the June 12th meeting. Okay.
Right. Okay, so can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Nancy, is there a second?
Second.
Marie? Jennifer, can you please call the roll for the motion to
Yep.
close the public hearing?
Bill,
Yes.
Kate,
You're muted, Kate. I
Mar-
don't think we heard your vote.
Nay.
okay, Marie,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Wayne,
Aye.
Gary.
No.
Okay.
Does this
Okay.
mean if this is not coming to town meeting, what does that mean? Does that mean there's more discussion on it for later?
No,
No,
not necessarily.
That it's not coming for town?
No.
meeting?
It's not in-
Is that,
It's not in time for the June 12th meeting.
but it's not
But
going to be talked about anymore? Is that-
Right. That's right. It'll be done, and it'll come up at the next town meeting.
Right.
Theoretically, there's talk about doing one in the fall. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah.
so the public meeting is closed. Can I have a motion to approve these amendments to section 6.8 of the sign bylaw?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Marie? Any discussion before we proceed to a vote? It's already been discussion, so Jennifer, can you please call the roll?
Sure. Kate,
Nay.
Marie,
Aye.
Wayne,
Aye.
Bill,
Yes,
Nancy,
Aye.
Gary.
No.
Okay.
thank you. Okay, Bill is not on. I seem to recall that he had a conflict tonight with another, he had some kind of scheduling conflict. I don't remember if he explained to me what it was, but I think that explains his absence. And the same with Jeff Lacy, who is actually in another town meeting, another of his municipal clients is actually I guess, there's discussion at town meeting of one of his, the bylaws he's drafted. So that's why he's not here. There was an email from, whoops. I'm using a computer that I'm not familiar with. From Phil about the ADU. I'm trying to pull it up as I speak. It's not changed since it was last circulated, but he was sending another copy so you don't have to dig through your inboxes to find it. In his absence, do we want to talk about this or do we want to defer it till he's with us?
I would defer it. There were a bunch of open questions that he had at the end of the last meeting that he was going to answer for us, just like the sign bylaw. And so
Yep.
I would defer this, and I think that it would be great to close the meeting.
Okay. I agree, unless somebody,
Bill, can I just throw out just maybe a suggestion for the next time we talk about the Jeff Lacy bylaw or that topic?
yes, please, go ahead.
I feel that we as a board don't know how each other feels about, I know how some people feel about some things, but I was wondering if at the beginning of the next time we talk about this, that each of us could just take a minute and kind of say what we would like this bylaw to look like. I mean, I don't know how anybody feels, and it's very hard for us in our little picture frame here on Zoom to have any kind of discussion. So it almost feels as though if I knew how others felt about, parts of this bylaw, it would be easier to work together. There may be some things that we all agree on, and let's just work on the stuff we don't, just like a couple of sentences of what we think is good, what we think is bad, and what we'd like to see this bylaw be for the town.
Yep.
I find not knowing what the rest of the board feels is not productive,
Yep.
I mean, is that a suggestion we could do?
I think it's a reasonable suggestion. I think it's a good idea. I mean,
Maybe we could
there are
find common ground.
there are certainly kind of hot button issues that probably each one of us has. And whether it's density neutrality or this latest thing that Jennifer sent around that, or did I send from, sorry, I keep getting phone calls, about using a bedroom count as a means of,
Yeah, we got that.
yeah,
I got
which is an interesting idea. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to.
We may find some common ground. That's fine. And then we may find things we can then work on to somehow get together on this.
Sure. Okay. I like it. Any other comments about that?
That's on the NRPZ bylaw?
Yes.
Yes.
On
Jeff
Jeff's-
Lacy's bylaw, that whole, what would we like that bylaw to look like
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
individually ourselves, or what we hope would be good. for
What
the
do we
town?
like? What do we don't? What do we not like?
Yeah, and how can we get together and compromise to make it a bylaw of some kind, or maybe we can't, but we need to know that. I
And
think
if
it'd be easier to work as a board if we knew how the others felt.
And if people could offer suggestions on how we can get together, rather than say, this is bad, this is good, but Give me an
Yeah.
example of how to make things good.
How could we compromise
There you
potentially?
go. Yes.
And trying to keep it, short and sweet, rather
Yeah,
than
right, a couple of sentences.
long. Yeah. Any
Whatever.
other thoughts about that? Anybody have a comment about that approach at our next meeting? I think it's a good idea.
I like
Thank-
it.
Thank you.
I'm in
Um,
favor of it. The issue, I guess, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts there, and I find it still quite confusing. If that can be, elucidate things, I mean, you're trying to do, two things. One is running the planning board, but also function as a kind of a bylaw writing committee. So, it's a lot. I mean, I think if we could adhere to, Marie's idea, which is to keep your remarks short, that would probably be good.
Yep.
So.
I agree. Thank you. Any other comments about that approach? I like it. Any
Generally
other?
speaking, I'd like to see the meetings be shorter.
Can't complain about this one.
It's good.
Knocked out several things, what the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
that, you
I
know,
tend to agree, Kate, the meetings can get very long and very laborious. But
do
we
have-
do have,
I do have a suggestion for how we could make the special permit meetings be, special permit requests be a little bit shorter. Maybe we can
okay,
talk about that at the next meeting.
about your suggestion.
Yeah. I'd like to,
Okay,
adjourn, and I make a motion that we adjourn.
is there a second?
Second.
Do we need to
Second.
call the roll for this? Yes, thanks, Gary. Or do we just raise our hands and say,
Yes.
Aye.
or raise
Okay,
our
looks
voice?
good.
Thank you all for.
Aye.
Looks good.